Shouts out Big Steve.
What's up? Big Brain MMA, episode 117. I'm your host, Big Steve, like usual, full-time MMA gambler. We're breaking down UFC Vegas 86, Hermansson, Pyfer. Good year, over 10,000. Good week, best week so far, 4,500 last week. Almost hit everything, one lateral drop, but drew Derber away from over 6,000, so it's good. I am looking to increase my staking and make more units because my units are 1,500. So I'm looking for more money this year. So let's keep the train going, right? Let's get straight into last week's breakdown, and then we'll get into it. So the first fight was Jamal Pogues, and yeah, not interested in that one bit. So let's move on. Next fight, first bet, nothing in the Maderos. Luana Carolina Julia, I played 200 on round one sub. A little bit annoying. I thought if the takedown comes, he would hit, but unfortunately, Julia couldn't time her good double leg. And when you clinch up against Carolina, she's got amazing overhook game, and she stayed safe. She still almost hit it. She hit the takedown and she almost got it with 10 seconds to go, which is typical. But luckily, right after round one, I live bet Carolina at Pick'em for half a unit. So lost 200 there, but won. I made 500 profit with the live bet on Carolina. Zhong Yong Lee, my favorite bet. I bet this on the 30th of December last year. 5 cents better than Pick'em, $1.95. I had a full unit on it. I'm happy I stayed with that. Looked a massive favorite over Black Builder. I had an under at plus money on openers on BetOnline, and I ended up reducing out of all of it. I'm really bad when I hit openers. That's why I don't do it. So luckily I reduced, didn't lose any money there. Themba Grimbo, I played Pete Rodriguez round 1 KO. Maybe I should have listened to Pepe. The under 1.5 was great value. Either Pete Rodriguez doesn't have a Mexican chin, or Themba hits harder than we all thought, and we might see that more often now. But that's fine. $200 lost there. Had 1,700 left. Nothing on the Charles Johnson Maxim. I had Molly McCann sub, $100 to win half a unit, $750, and I had 200 on inside the distance to win another 520. So I almost won a unit there. I had half a unit on Radke. I did mention with Pepe it was either going to be a big bet or a small bet. He ended up being a big bet. Props to Pepe. He had a lot more on it. So I was over 4,000 there, shaping up to be my best day ever. Nothing on the Kizriev. I ended up live betting Natalia Silva at $1.40 after she, I guess, lost round one, but I thought Viviani was drawing dead. If she was just going to cage push like that the whole time, she had no chance. So I thought I only put half a unit, 700 to win 280. Brown, Sally Cobb, nothing there, but big regret passing on the under. Big regret. Moicano, I had Drew Dober. Great bet, honestly. I played it after he got steamed. And, did Moicano look minus 200? Not really. He was about to get knocked out in round one. He lost round two, and he looked like he was going to get knocked out in round three. So, can't complain. And, that prevented me from having 6,000 something. Oh, but I did play Renato Moicano under 24 significant strikes in round one. Hit easily. I think he didn't even hit 10. So that was one of my favorite bets. So I've been killing those. The only one I lost was Rocky Pennington, but I think they're reviewing my Bet365 account now because of that. So, but 4,500, three units. I can't complain. And let's keep the train rolling. Let's address the comments. Glimbot, sub gentlemen. Lou Betcha, let's go. Legend, Zen Monkey, like always. Dixon, Steve, what's up, Pimp? How you going today? Not bad, mate. Just woke up 8:30 in the morning. Smashing this out before I get with my day. Grobart, as soon as the whole Rock promo started and he started reading his note, I put money on Grimbo. Well, you're sharper than me, mate. You're sharper than me. His fade is coming, trust me. Alrighty. Let's get into this one, shall we? Daniel Marcos, Aoriqileng. Daniel Marcos, juiced to worse than -200 favorite. I agree he should be a favorite. He's the cleaner, more technical fighter with a better defense, definitely better durability. Aoriqileng, only knocked out once, but he got deaded by Zahabi, and he gets hurt by everyone. I think we're going to see a lot more knockouts later on in his career. I mean, he even got hurt by Munoz in the last one. So yeah, I definitely think this could be like a levels fight, if not only for the durability alone. I'm not interested in the money line on Marcos. The guy kind of slows down later in fights, and yeah, it's just a striking fight back and forth. I contemplated the under, but it's not as good of an under as, let's say, Brown Salikov, which I regretted. Two dudes with durability issues. Marcos does seem quite durable and also defensively responsible. So all the finishing upside is kind of on Aoriqileng, who can't block any shots, who eats all the shots. Pardon me. I think Marcos probably lands like a front kick to the face down the pipe. Who is definitely going to hurt him. Will he knock him out? That's the thing. Maybe Marcos inside the distance is better. I think he can come in the last 2.5 minutes as well. So the doesn't go is a bit worse and not as tempting. So yeah, pass all around, but maybe play Marcos inside the distance. All right, LP, big ups, Big Steve and Big Brian. LP, are you in the Discord still, mate? I haven't seen you in a bit. Thanks for listening, though. Hyder, Amil, Fernie, Garcia. Interesting fight. Hyder, Amil, another solid favorite. Fernie, I'm pretty sure he was cut, but they gave him a chance on short notice. Could be wrong. Hyder, Amil, a pressure guy, a bit of a punching bag. He looks to break guys, but he doesn't really break him because he has way better cardio. He also slows down, and then his fights become a bit sloppy. And he starts off well and then slows down and gives the opponent a chance. The one to Sul, he hurt him multiple times, and then Sul came into it and made it a split decision. And the Sonmez fight, he did well. He was stuffing takedowns, and then by the end of that fight, he was just kind of back and forth and competitive. Fernie, good boxer, sharp striking early, can crack, but not really KO power per se. He's also super hittable, and I've seen him hurt by Newsom of all people. I've seen him hurt by Brady. But yeah, tough, no quit in him. I don't know, minus money on someone with so many holes like Hyder. Not really interested. I contemplated Fernie as a dog, but it's like I also contemplated Fernie as a favorite. In a fight where I thought maybe Fernie can have some success while fresh, and then eventually loses down the stretch. But yeah. Yeah, the under was the first thing that caught my eyes as well. Nice juicy under with two hittable guys. But yeah, the fact that Fernie is tough and he's upper weight class, so not cutting as much. Yeah, maybe not want to play it. So another pass fight all around. This card will have a lot of passes. I know last week everyone was saying awful card for betting, but I ended up on 3 dogs and a pick'em and a bunch of long shot props. This doesn't feel the same way, unfortunately. Garcia in his last showed mental toughness in the third, didn't get finished. Yeah, he's got good submission defense, and Hyder, is not the best submission guy. I bet him by sub against Sonmez, and yeah. So he's just like, will he get knocked out or not? That's the thing. Still in the Discord, Steve. Excuses, but just been busy. No, that's fine, mate. Just checking. I'm here for the Guskov breakdown. David L. Sharp man. Alrighty. Zach Pauga versus Bogdan Guskov. So I taped this nice and early because the Bogdan dog line had my attention. I know Bogdan, I played the under 1.5 in his debut against Volkan. That was a bit sweaty, came down to the wire. Volkan extremely durable. He ate some bombs, and eventually he kind of wore on Bogdan, who was short notice as well, and submitted him. I don't think Pauga would take some of those shots. I know a lot of people crapping on Guskov for being, a bit of a fraud, but his tape is decent. He's not fighting the best guys, and it's hard to tell how good some of these guys are. Some of them have decent records, but yeah, he's finishing him, and I like his striking. He's not a brawler per se. His hands are low. He picks his shots, and I like his shot selection. He can fight on the back foot. He can get taken down, but he digs underhooks and he has good get ups. Right. Pauga, yeah, Pauga is just I don't know what to say about Pauga. He's a 35-year-old chinny guy. He prefers to cage push. He's really boring and he has a nice overhand right. I think he's got underrated power for someone that goes to decisions. But yeah, I mean, I played him against Bukaskis. I thought I got robbed. All the media members say that he got robbed, but he got hurt at the end of those rounds that he did well, which kind of made the refs give Bukaskis the fight. And if you're getting cracked by Bukaskis constantly, like yeah. So I thought I'd like Guskov. I see people the public agrees with me. Yeah, it's the fight is now pretty much pick 'em, and yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel like playing him. The fight felt like a pass. I feel like I'd rather just play some sort of prop. Um, I watched that fight with Guskov that goes through 3 rounds, and yeah, he was fine. The cardio was fine. There was a lot of grappling involved. He kept getting up, and then ended up getting a KO in the third. So maybe the money line was good, but I don't know. I just feel like Pauga's going to do what he needs to do to win, and he might kill the over as well. The under is a pick'em 1.5. I might just play that, and um, kind of like the Rodriguez Grimba. I didn't think Grimba had much finishing upside in the under, but he ended up doing it. So this could be the same thing. The under is correlated with Bogdan, and then there's a slim chance that maybe Pauga makes it go under as well. Who knows? But yeah, that's another pass so far. Under looking good. Yeah, that's catching my eyes, but I just have to see if there's any value on it. Jeremiah Wells versus Max Griffin. This fight is, I don't know. I see Griffin's a popular dog. Yeah, I don't know how I feel. He's old. Jeremiah Wells fights are extremely volatile and binary. He cracks. You don't know what he's going to do, if he's going to come out and brawl, if he's going to wrestle. Yeah, he's a decent enough fighter. And Max Griffin, he's good early. He's fast and he stays on the outside and can crack you. But his fights, when they go to decision, which is like 9 out of 10 times, they ended up being close and competitive. And Tim Means' fight wasn't even a split. It was more of a 37 than a split. And just the way he fights, it just makes the judges consider giving it to the other guy. The Magny fight, he could have won, but he got robbed. Carlos Condit, he started off, beating the crap out of him, but then let Condit in later on in the fight. Yeah, I don't know. It's just I've never been a fan of Max Griffin and these middle of the range welterweight guys like Morano and stuff. His takedown defense seems good. I'll give you that, but I think Wells is on another level. He still got taken down by Means and Magny. First layer is definitely good, but you can take him down, and I think Wells is, an upper level wrestler. Yeah, I can't get a read. I don't know if I'll retape it, but let's move on. Devin Clark versus Marcin Prachnio. So this one, I know a friend that locked in Devin Clark a little bit better than -200. He's under -200 now, $1.40 something. And straight away I was like, no way, I can do that. I'm a Devin Clark hater. I know the guy well. And then taping, I left thinking, yeah, he probably wins. Like a lot of the time. He might have some issues early, just because his striking's a bit average, and Marcin Prachnio can crack people early, and he has done it, especially when fresh. And he also has good get-ups. Devin Clark's entries are good, but he's finishing, even when he gets in the hips, is pretty average. So I was like, yeah, that's definitely a pass at -200. But the more he wrestles, which he's live to do, Prachnio does slow down, and then it becomes sloppy, and then I think round 3 is going to be pretty clear for Clark, if he doesn't even knock him out potentially. So he's got the cardio, he's got the athleticism, he's got sneaky power. and Prachnio has durability issues, so he definitely should be a favourite, but I didn't play it at minus 200, and now it's even worse. Yeah, it feels like it's accurate. Yeah, it feels forced, but yeah, I definitely think Clark should win at 29-28. If not a sneaky KO, maybe KO is live. We'll see. Loma Lookboonmee versus Bruna, Brasil. Yeah, another one where I don't know what to make of this. Loma Lookboonmee she's a decent size favorite, and even more money has come in on her. Bruna, Brasil. Her nickname's a special one. I would say she's the furthest thing from that nickname, to be honest. Yeah, she's just pretty average. Doesn't like getting hit, hands low. I like her kicks. Her kicks are the best thing. So I contemplated Loma Juice, but then, with the size discrepancy here and Loma being a kicker, a Muay Thai kicker on the outside as well, not much of a boxer, she's going to be giving Bruna the game that she wants. Yeah, I mean, Loma probably has a good advantage in the grappling and the clinch. I shouldn't say probably, no doubt she does. But, she has to get in there proactively, and then if she gets a takedown, Bruna has a couple of sweeps in her, and we've seen Loma lose position before, many times to Gomez, to Reed. But I think she's improving. Yeah, I just don't know. I don't know how much value is on this line. I'm not into parlaying someone like Loma, even though I think she's probably a level above. And yeah, just the way the styles are, I don't feel like laying the juice. It's a dog or pass, but yeah, Bruna, she just leaves a lot to be decided. She even lost it around to Shanna Bannon. Yeah, I mean, I know a sharp guy, sharp friend, Dogfather in the Discord, and he likes the under. And props to him, he's he sees things differently than me, and he's right. So I looked into it, and I can just see it as being at kicking distance and a lot in the clinch where, yeah, Loma might kick the crap out of her in the clinch, but the finish doesn't materialize. So yeah, pass all around. All right, this is a new fight. Timothy Cuamba versus Bolaji Oki. One of these guys cost me money, Timothy, and the other one, cashed as a big dog, Bolaji, both on Contender Series. But yeah, maybe someone can tell me what the odds are. I see that Bolaji was an underdog on Bet Online this morning, which is interesting. I'll break it down. I did tape it last night. I'll just look at the comments. Grobard Wells looks powerful. He sure does, mate. I don't like getting in his way. I played him against Harris at Pick'em, fading the public, and I thought I was a genius, and then that happened. Loma could lull Brazil into the fight she wants. Well, that's the fight that Brazil wants. Honestly, she wants a patient kicking fight. Pepe, the man, the myth, the legend. Loma will fuck her up in the clinch. Yeah, she does. She does that to everyone. Bruna, 100% KO losses. Yeah, I mean, I agree. One of them was an injury, but Uncle Easy, the man. I like the Brazil 3.5 points handicap here. Should be close. Yeah, I don't know if you listen to me often, Uncle, but I hate those, man. I hate those. I just have a theory that there's always one judge making sure that a 30-27 ruins them. Sometimes they're good. I mean, the Johnson was good last week, but yeah, I just stay away from him. Cuamba plus 200. Well, I guess that line was an opener that quickly changed. Fair enough. Yeah. Well, I expected more of Oki to be that much of a favorite, so yeah, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's going to be a striking fight. These guys have a lot of similarities. Timothy younger. I think he's more technical. He likes a more prettier fight. He kind of doesn't like pressure either. Whereas Bolaji Oki, he will pressure into the pocket. He's patient, and he looks to slip and rip. He doesn't mind eating punches on his head just to counter. He rips the body. I love his lead left hook to the liver. That's how he knocked out Dylan Salvador, who was a extremely durable kickboxer. I didn't go big because of his durability, but yeah, Oki just ran through him. I think both are improving rapidly. Oki's looking better and better on his regional tape. But yeah, I mean, it's a dog or pass. Cuamba just fought last week and up in the lower weight class, which I think is perfect. He's going to be fight ready. We see these guys come in from LFA. They just win championships short notice, and they still have the cardio. He won't have to cut weight. But yeah, tough task against a guy like Cuamba, who's probably going to come forward. Oki, pardon me. But yeah, I mean, volatile striking fight. Definitely wouldn't be playing the favorite. So it's a dog or pass for me, but I don't have any strong leans. I'll have to look into it some more. Good about it. The way people hate on Oki for being a fraud is the way I hate Prates. Ooh, interesting. Well, I guess we'll talk about it next, shall we? So, Trevin Giles versus Carlos Prates. We have finally come across my bet for this card. So, I have Prates at minus 200, 1.5 units. Actually, the half unit is at worst the minus 200 because I wanted to put on another book. Yeah, I mean, what it comes down to is Trevin Giles is always a fade for me. This guy has been regressing every single fight. He's 31 years old. Early in his career, this guy looked to have a bright future. He's beating Ryan Spann at light heavyweight, middleweight, pardon me, and Brandon Allen, who is now both guys are ranked in different divisions, and he was much younger, and then he gets in the UFC and he loses to Zach Cummings, loses to Misha, finishes both of them, got dropped by Zach Cummings, and then he drops to his natural weight class, welterweight, and yeah, he's just looking worse and worse. And never thought the guy was chinny, but it's clearly that he's chinny now, and I hate his durability even more at welterweight. Like I said, he got dropped by Zach Cummings. He got hurt, knocked out by Duplessis, fair enough. Knocked out by Michael Morales, fair enough. But if you look at Morales' record, he hasn't knocked out anyone else since, or in the Contender Series before. The Preston Parsons, I'm not high on Preston Parsons at all. That was probably a fight that he was close to 30-27 if he didn't get hurt in round one. But Preston Parsons can't hurt anyone, man. And that right hand that he landed, Giles was on Queer Street. He was done. So that's all you need to know. Like, he wins over Louis Koske. He drops around. Yeah. I think he's just regressing. I think the problem is that he's got a job on the side, police officer, which you can't really do in the UFC. But yeah, he's making a bag every time he fights. Good on him. He's thinking about his future as a police officer. But yeah, Prates, at minus 200, it might be a hard click for some people. And I had issues with his hands low and some of these early finishes early in his career, and I watched all of them just to make sure. Yeah, he's young. His chin seems to hold out. He eats a bunch on his chin clean. Mitch Ramirez cracked him a few times. I played the under there. He didn't react whatsoever. Mitch Ramirez cracks. Right after that, he had a round one knockout in LFA. And yeah, the takedown defense is also an issue. But you look at his last loss, Gajimurad Abdullayev in ONE FC. The guy is 8-0 now. He's an absolute beast. And Prates, he's a black belt. He had a couple of deep triangles. He had a reversal. He had a back take. Despite those holes, I don't see how Giles is going to put a 15-minute performance and beat Prates where he doesn't get knocked out. Right? He's got a good jab, but so does Prates, and he's got much longer reach, and he's got much more power. And if he stays at kicking range trying to jab, he's going to get kicked. So yeah, I think this is 75. Dare I say, maybe even 80% for Prates, but I probably wouldn't line him that much, but I just don't want to miss out a chance. I think he finishes Giles in round 1, 2, pretty high clip. So yeah, maybe even a submission. So let's maybe, if I'm feeling greedy, maybe I add to that 1 and 2. Like I said, I'm trying to make more money. I'm trying to play like I used to play when I had smaller units and double up, triple up. Glimbot under 1.5 in Prates fight for me. Yeah, I agree, but I think that's correlated with Prates, hence why I'm thinking playing Prates 1 and 2. Giles flaky, but no way he flakes back to back. What do you mean, dude? He flakes all the time. Back to back. Zach Cummings, Gerald Misha back to back. James Krause put decision. That was almost 3 back to back. Duplessis, Morales back to back. I mean, Preston Parsons almost got knocked out around. I mean, this guy, he flakes, man. It's Trevin Giles. All right, let's move on. That's my only play for today. Rodolfo Vieira, Armen Petrosyan. So I originally taped this fight the first time around. I thought it was going to be a pass, and then I gave in and I taped it, and then I ended up leaving thinking it was still a pass at Pick'em. I thought Rodolfo was a popular play, and I see people playing Rodolfo again. So he's slightly better than slightly under Pick'em. I ultimately left thinking it's Rodolfo Vieira pass or pass for me as well, just because he's going to start off well early. As we know, Armen can't defend the takedown. He's got great get-ups, and he's beaten a lot of people like that. Getting taken out and getting up, gassing him out, and then knocking him out. But that just means the guy's a live bet for me or pass. If Vieira is patient, he can just not shoot for takedowns early, keep it competitive on the feet. He's got nice boxing, but then Armen he's got incredible volume with his kicks, and he usually separates. So I just felt like Vieira might have advantages early, maybe a little bit through round 2, but as long as this fight's on the feet, Armen's going to be pulling away with the kicks, and I ended up passing again. I didn't revisit it this time around because there's a lot of regionals and it's pick'em still. But yeah, it was pick'em for me the first time, and I'll, if I have time, I'll revisit again. All right, let's address this comment by my friend David L. I'm liking Vieira pick'em here. I think he has quite more finishing upside. I could see him take the first 2 rounds to win a decision. Interesting fight. Yeah, who knows? He is incredibly durable, but who knows how he reacts to Armen's body shots and volume. Yeah. Grobart, let's see how Giles looks on the weigh-ins. And also, didn't he say he's full-time MMA now? I thought Giles was full-time years ago, but I don't know. People have been telling me that he's actually still working, which would make sense because of his performances. Alrighty, best fight on the card: Michael the Menace Johnson. The Menace is the perfect nickname for him. Versus Darrius Flowers. What is there to say? I'm not in the business of playing Michael Johnson at minus money. The guy, he wins until he loses. He's got great boxing, fast hands, great sprawl, but now he's chinny. I ended up playing Ferreira and also playing the under 2.5, double dipping because of that chin, and I did not expect that KO still, right? Darrius Flowers, he's dangerous for the 5 minutes. He can kill anyone. He's killing dudes up at, middleweight and welterweight and catchweight. And, in the last fight, he was welterweight, and now he's at lightweight. So I don't know how this guy's going to look or perform. But usually in 90% of his losses, or should I say 100% of his losses, he comes out strong, he gasses out, and he just flakes, whether it's sub, whether it's rolling over and getting ground and pounded, the dude just quits. So I don't know if that's a mental thing or he's out of shape. But I tend to think that that's probably still going to stay there, and that his power is definitely going to stay there at lightweight. But this is a volatile, unpredictable fight. I think Darrius can get a KO over Johnson. I think Johnson can probably make the fight go over 1.5 rounds because he doesn't really knock out many people. Malarkey and Clay Guida and Casey and Alan Patrick, could have knocked him out a lot earlier. Alan Patrick's extremely chinny. So yeah, volatile fight. If I'm going to play Flowers, might be in 1 and 2. He won 1 decision, which was via wrestling, but like I said, Michael Johnson has a great sprawl. I don't think Flowers has any good control whatsoever. So yeah, this fight is a crapshoot. So let's move on. All right, decent level fight. Brad Tavares versus Gregory Rodriguez. I've been always saying Gregory Rodriguez should be in the ranking, especially at middleweight, a weak division. I think with the potential win here, he can make it. Brad Tavares, he's starting to look a little bit washed to me. There's a couple of fights I regret fading him on. I faded him against Duplessis. I regretted it against Bruna. He was a massive dog. Bruna was, and I ended up going with the over instead, which is an awful play. I thought that he could get knocked out. I'm seeing a lot of lapses in durability from Tavares, and we've seen it against Wyman. I parlayed him there against the Wash Wyman, and extremely shocked that was a 30-27. He really hated the punches that Wyman was throwing at him. Yeah, I think Gregory Rodriguez, I'm going to speed this one up. I think Rodriguez can knock out anyone. I think he's got a crazy right hand down the pipe. And yeah, maybe look at some unders. I contemplated playing the juice, but it's not. It's a bit irresponsible at that price. So we'll see. The other 2.5 is a bit generous as well. We'll see. Grobard, what are the chances Tavares didn't finish Wyman out of respect? I don't know about that. 6 count. Think UFC wants Robocop to win this one. Rebook him with the guy who has pillow hands. Yeah. I mean, Tavares is a perfect entry into the rankings. I don't think he's ranked anymore, or he shouldn't be, but you beat him, you're in. Alrighty. Pateria versus Robert Brisek. This is a bit of a crapshoot fight. I don't know what to make of it. I played Pateria by KO over Bellado. People are saying I was crazy. I almost did it. Bellado's chinny. I don't know what to make of Robert. Robert, his last two fights that went to decision. He's been knocked out before by Kike, who's a beast. I have questions about his chin. I have questions about his decision equity. But he does crack, especially recently. He's got a boxing background, so it makes sense. But Pateria is durable, and he also cracks. And he's dropping down to middleweight, which I think he could make it. He's not that big. But I don't know. I don't know what to make of this fight. The under would have been my play, but it's completely steamed. I see people taking pokes on Pateria. I don't know. I don't know if it's for me. I don't know. Let's move on. Dan Ige versus Andre Fili. Popular fight. Popular dog, I should say. I played Fili against Wood, because Wood was chinny and small, and I feel a bit dirty that Naima was the guy to beat him, and I missed out considering Fili hurt him in rounds 1 and 3 or round 2. And people are saying, "Oh, it's in London and Fili fights close. He's untrustworthy. He gets hit a lot." And I was happy with my play watching that play out, but that's how I feel about him here. Dan Ige, he is quite durable, and he hits hard. So he's got the power and durability edge. I guess that Fili, he's slicker and he mixes it up, and he can mix in the takedowns. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like he can get cracked and give up a couple of moments here and, do Fili things. Maybe it feels accurate. I can definitely see it playing out competitive. I don't think these guys are too far apart in terms of levels. But I definitely think, Ige has more potential. We've seen him in more competitive fights with higher ranked guys. But I'm not in the business of playing Ige juice, right? This fight feels accurate, and if anything, I'll play Fili by decision and hope for the best, but I don't really want to force it. And finally here at the main event, interesting one. This Jack Hermansson versus Joe Pyfer. I feel like they're fast tracking Joe Pyfer. Taping this one, I was really close to donating to Jack Hermansson. I mean, plus 200 now. You watch Joe Pyfer, and it seems like he might have cardio issues. He's plotting and he's always breathing heavy. He gassed in that Paddy fight, and apparently he had a lot of excuses on the Joe Rogan podcast. I haven't watched it, but he looks that gassed in other fights too. Ozzy Diaz looks gassed and then he lands a hook. The Abdul Al Razak fight, He's backing up in round 2. He really doesn't like the leg kicks. And then, he hits a takedown and gets an instant finish. He could be one of these guys like Duplessis that just kind of looks tired, but he's got plenty of juice in the tank. But yeah, Jack Hermansson has all the volume and he's got the good footwork and the minute winning upside. That's why I considered it, especially if this goes into round 3, 4, 5. Joe's never been in round 3. That's why I'm considering. I see live bet is popular. It makes sense. The more I look into Jack Hermansson, I've been betting him for a long time. Back when he was getting finished by Vieira with an arm triangle choke, which is Pyfer's submission. He literally gets finished in first or second round in all his losses, And even Marlon Vittori almost knocked him out, and that guy doesn't hit very hard at all. So yeah, I mean, the Edmund Shabazian fight too. He really should have finished Edmund if he was a level above. A gassy guy. Yeah, so nothing at the moment. I do think Joe really has a lot of advantages. I think he has the athleticism, the power, the youth, the wrestling potentially as well. He's good on top. His jiu-jitsu is quite decent. He trains with those guys at Philly. So yeah, I think if it gets any crazier, I'll probably poke Hermansson just for like a 1/3 of a unit, and then look to add more if he doesn't get killed. But yeah, it feels like I really want to donate. Even though Hermansson probably has a small decision path, maybe 3, 4, 5. But we don't know. Maybe Pyfer gets one of those guys. Maybe he gets a second win later in the 4th or the 5th. We just don't know. It could be, like I said, could be a Duplessis. It doesn't exert much energy. So, yeah, clearly a dog or pass here. I thought about the under, but my boy Pepe steamed it a bit. So, yeah, pass at the moment, but it's a dog or pass for me, clearly. What do we have? We'll address the comments and we'll get out of here. Thoughts on sub? It's surprising his KO price is priced more likely than sub in nearly every fight. Oh, you mean Jack KO? I think it's because of his ground and pound. But yeah, I think, he's been guillotined before. Jack has that good guillotine. But it doesn't really have subs off top. If he gets on top of a gassed Pyfer, I think we probably see some ground and pound. But yeah, I'll poke a sub. Hermansson pressed me in round 5, lost to Strickland. Great sportsmanship. I think that's more Strickland. That's why I live bet Duplessis. Strickland, if you pressure him and you throw, which is what Hermansson was doing, he's happy just to back up and make it close. Big Bird, Gugabe's school of thought with Hermansson moneyline. Yeah, speaking of Gugabe, I met Gugabe in the toilets in my last jiu-jitsu comp on Sunday. Nice guy. Late finisher decision fight. Yeah, Pyfer's all front loaded. Yes, Jack. Favorite bet of the week. Well, I got 2 bets all week between the regionals and everything, which is a bit sad. But Carlos Prates at -200. You can probably parlay him, and inside the distance, they're all good bets. Otherwise, Daniel Marcos, Aoriqileng. It's under or pass for me. Hyder, Amil, Garcia. There's a bunch of things I like there, so it's a pass. Bogdan, Guskov, it's going to be him by inside the distance or the under or pass. Max Griffin, I don't know. Devin Clark or pass. Loma, I don't know. Cuamba or pass. Prates. Rodolfo Vieira or pass. Johnson just pass all around. Maybe some flowers round 1. Gregory or pass. Poteria, I don't even know what to play there. Dan Ige. And yeah, Hermansson. And I do have a keeper on Octagon. He was at better than -200. He's fighting a 40-year-old Croatian dude that hasn't beat anyone ever decent. And he just looks worse and worse, as he's getting older, as he's getting more injured. A keeper lost at 29-28 to Bonner in his last one. He almost knocked him out. He fought awful there and lost. Kept grappling the grappler. But yeah, I think he should win this fight. He should get a knockout or even win a sloppy decision. So I have 1.5 units on a keeper, 1.5 units at Prates. That's about it. But hey, if you got me on Twitter, if you're following me in Sherdog, if you jump in the Discord, there'll be more regional bets. I'm just getting to it today, tomorrow, and Saturday. So yeah, like and subscribe. Thanks for listening, and good luck.